Lewis Black sues Pandora for $10 million dollars over copyright infringement. This is a super interesting story. Let me tell you why. So he's one of, the latest star comedians who is pursuing legal action, and he's saying it's kind of this argument similar to what we do for musicians, right? So when music is streamed, you get paid for two things. You get paid for the recorded version that is streamed, but then the composers, right, the publishing gets paid as well. And so they're saying that, the comedians should get paid for the writing portion just because, let's say, a studio might own the final clip, the final recorded version. The writers, the comedians, wrote
Right.
the jokes, right? So
Correct.
if musicians get paid for the writing of the song, why don't and it's a very interesting, and Pandora is pushing back and they're like, no, that's not how it is,
Of
which
course
is
they are.
true.
They don't
That's
want
not
to.
quite industry standard.
Of course they're saying that because they don't want to give up. No company wants to give up money. Anytime anything is brought to your attention, they're gonna they're gonna push back on anything. Um, but when you kind of just say it just plainly like that, you're kind of like, well, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, he's a writer. Why isn't he getting a writing credit? Why is it treated differently? I mean, it's just kind of like everything that you see in the music business as far as industry standard, and things go how they are until somebody changes them, and they don't go that way anymore. They're not it's deals are negotiated differently. You know what I mean? Like, if that just tells me that there has just been decades of this kind of thing going on, as far as in the music industry,
Yeah.
probably, that went unnoticed, that nobody said, well, why are you getting paid and I'm not? And like, now the labels and the streaming services or whoever's doing it is like, oh, no, 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 he found out who told him. Oh, we had a
No,
good
and that's
run,
always
guys.
that's always where this starts, right? So even all these lawsuits against, Spotify, for example, in the last couple of years to make sure that artists were getting paid what was due and owing, and Apple Music. I mean, they're massive lawsuits, but it usually starts with these initial questions. So this is not the only one, right? There are several other lawsuits that are or have been filed against Pandora seeking back pay in the millions of dollars. And so,
I can
I
see
don't know
it.
if Pandora is just going to be, it makes more sense to quickly settle this quietly, but it sounds like they're
No, it's.
pushing, they're
I
fighting it.
think. I think pardon the pun, but I think he's opened Pandora's box, because he just made everybody else kind of thinking, and you might end up finding yourself with a giant lawsuit of just everybody going, yeah, and it's going to be like, it could be something that could really shake things up based on kind of what they do. Um, but I'm always one of these guys that I don't think that writers and creatives get enough shine, as far as half of what it is, because the money really is pretty small. When you think about how much money that some of these products can generate. And so, like, all you're kind of left with is shine. And if you can't even get your shine on or get your due and credit, like, you notice, like in award shows and stuff, a lot of the writer awards and all these kind of things, and screenplay writers and stuff like that, they're done before the show even starts, and they're just kind of told,
Right.
oh yeah, earlier there was the screenwriter had this award. And I'm telling you, they're the ones that are doing it. And I like to see that over the last 20 years, producers have kind of gotten more of a shine, and now you producers are just kind of more of a household name, as just as much as they are as the artists that they produce. So I like that, but I think that writers, what in any medium, comedy, television, movies, I think they should get more shine and get, because I mean, they're writing these stories.